What's up, YouTube? Quick cheapskate here. It's been a minute, but haven't stopped collecting. I just have not felt like doing a video. It's been like over a month now. I had a real bad ear infection, and I've just been kind of living life, not really doing too much. Decided to come on today, do a video for the first time in a while. Just got a big order from Headbangers. Headbangers, they're a metal label from Ohio. If you're into heavy music, you probably have heard of them. They're one of the bigger ones. Went to Death Fest. Death Fest was a good time. Went and saw a bunch of shows. Saw Contrast Attitude, and I went and saw a local band called Nub. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff to show, so I'm gonna just try and like spread that out. It's been well over a month since I've had a video, and I've picked up a bunch of stuff. But today, what I'm gonna do is just show off this box right here. Do an unboxing video of this nice little hefty box here that I picked up from Headbangers. So, without any further ado, let's open this bad boy. I know what I got, but it's gonna be a surprise to you guys. A lot of this stuff is multiple releases from the same artists. Headbangers does this thing where they do 10 CDs for 50 bucks. So I took advantage of that, and they had a bunch of records that they were on clearance. So I got a bunch of clearance records, and it's a box within a box. A bunch of clearance records and a bunch of CDs. So let's pop this bad boy open and see what we got first. Starting out with some CDs here. I'll try and show the records in the groups of bands that I picked up. So we'll start off with some good old classic speed metal stuff. And the first group of stuff that I picked up are these two represses of the Bulldozer records. Bulldozer does kind of like a speedy, a little more brutal, kind of a little bit of a Motorhead sound to them, but not Motorhead worth up or anything. But very good speed metal stuff. So I picked up Days of Wrath, or the Day of Wrath. And these are the Shadow Kingdom represses, which is like a sister label to Headbangers. And I also got Bulldozer's Final Separation. So brand new CDs. They're $5 each. I'm pretty stoked to have picked them up. Next up, I'll show these. Some more that I've been meaning to pick up from Hells for a while. I wanted them on vinyl, but these records have been going up in price, and for $5 each, you can't go wrong. And that's the first two Acid Witch CDs. So, Acid Witch, Stoned. This is the band that features Slasher Dave, who does all the. He does a bunch of horror soundtrack sounding stuff. That's his solo stuff, and this is his band where he does kind of like Halloween horror music sounding stuff, but over top of a bunch of really cool, pretty brutal, like sludgy doom metal. So that's Stone, which is the second album, and the first album is Witchtanic Hallucinations, which is great stuff. Both of these excellent records. If you like doomy stuff, kind of sludgy doomy stuff with a good bit of like traditional heavy metal stuff mixed in and really like raspy harsh vocals, you'll probably like that stuff. A little bit of horror soundtrack mixed in. It's good stuff. And I'm only drinking lemonade tonight and being a good boy. I had a really bad chest head cold and my ears are still clogged up, so I'm not drinking because I don't want to get sick again. I don't want to suppress my immune system until I'm better. So still have the lingering effects of a cold that I had for about 2 weeks, and now I'm finally starting to feel better. Next up, I got a couple threefers. These were all released on Hell's Headbangers, and that's the Cult to Ghouls. This is kind of like a culty sounding, kind of like mid-paced black metal stuff. This one's called Hexbane. This one's Haxan by Cult to Ghouls. This one's a little rawer. This is more on the raw end of the spectrum. This one's goes into some like almost proggy territory at times. And this is Sinister, or Treading the Darker Path. And this one does get a little more experimental at times. It's kind of raw. Good stuff. Cult to Ghouls is cool. They play really cool music. I enjoy their stuff. And last but not least, these are ones that I had been after for years. Wanted to get the vinyl. I had the cassette of this one here when I was a teenager. I had a neighbor who was an old metalhead and gave me a box full of cassettes. This is one of the first thrash albums I ever got into, and that was Sacrifices, Forward Determination. I was a little punk kid. I only wanted to listen to punk music. I didn't really like metal at the time, except for like, you know, the obvious ones like Iron Maiden and the first Guns N' Roses album. I liked that. But I didn't know much more outside of that and Metallica and like the very basic stuff. This was one of the first ones that were really like perked my ears up to thrash metal. Sacrifices, Forward Determination. This is one where they kind of really went more in the direction of like the West Coast sounding thrash that was out at the time, like closer to like a Nuclear Assault or an Anthrax type sound, but they still were a little bit meaner sounding, but very good. Their earlier stuff, which is Torment to Fire, which is more kind of like on a raw black metal type, or not black metal, but like early, a little more speed metal-y, still thrash metal, but like a little more speed metal-y, a little more raw, but still very good. And this one's kind of like the in-between between those two, where they were kind of more like more of a solidified thrash act, and just really good stuff. I love Sacrifice. I think they're great. But I haven't found their stuff in the wild, and on Discogs and stuff, they're a little pricey. And finding these, $5 a piece, you can't go wrong. Check out their sale. It's a good deal, definitely. So that's 10 albums I picked up for $50. And again, I don't think you can really go wrong with 10 albums for $50. got some stickers. Those Headbangers stickers. Dead by Dog, I was there. Where were you, poser? Gotta love the dog. Noxie. I think that's the way it goes. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know what band that is. And a couple of records. We'll start off with this one. So, it's basically some metal punk crossover stuff. This is the third one by Children of Technology. These guys are kind of like a DB band with a little more like thrash metal mixed in. They're a fun band. I really like. I like this band. They're not. I don't think they're the best doing it, but they're a solid act. Found this. This was $8 or $8.88 is what this was going for. It's got some cool shine to it. But Children of Technology, just DBD, noisy, heavy metal punk stuff. You gotta love the background with the Gas Tank record in there. So you know their heart's in the right place. But great stuff. I enjoy this band. I'll have a good time. Oh, they got the Rogue Male record on there too. So yeah, I mean they fit in with all that stuff. Rogue Male, Bathory. There's a little bit of that in all this. Tank, a little bit of Tank in there. A little bit of early Sepultura. They're all over the place, kind of, but they really do like stick to kind of a D beat. I think this one's more metallic than their earlier stuff, but I've listened to their earlier stuff more. Good band. I might pop this on after this. I'm not going to bother with that, actually, because I'm going to go put it on. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Like I said, a little more heavy metal, but they're pretty much a DB band, from what I remember. Anyway, this is Children of Technology we're listening to now. What we were listening to is this Bloodspore Fungal Warfare Against All Life. Upon all life. Upon all life. Yeah. But Bloodspore, pretty solid stuff. Solid death metal from Philadelphia. Really good. I saw them live a few years ago at a festival and they stuck with me. Alright, so I got two more. Not too much this time. Only 15 minutes. Only an unboxing video. So this is all stuff that I haven't really listened to. But I have listened to this one. These next two are two that I've been looking for a while. And this one seems to have been raising in price, but Hell's Headbangers still had it for $8.88. And that's this Alms Act 1. Alms is great, kind of like doomy band. A lot of Sabbath in there, but they go more the 70s hard rock route, but they sound very much like very occulty 70s hard rock. Very good band. And this band's from Baltimore. Baltimore folks doing this. And we had them on our podcast a few years ago. They were on we did a 70s rock episode of our podcast, the Daily Metal podcast. And Alms came on. Missy and Derek from Alms came on and spend a night talking 70s hard rock with us, and it was a good time. So, Alms, great band from Baltimore, and Hell's Headbangers had this for dirt cheap. So check this out if you get a chance. I'll leave links to all the music I show in here, like I usually do. Also came with a poster, which is pretty sick. See what the poster looks like. It's just the same as the album cover, but still pretty cool. You can show the labels here. Came on this neat black splatter vinyl, clear and black splatter. So, pretty sick. Pretty excited about that one. One more, and then that's it. And you guys won't hear from me for a little while. I'm gonna try to get back on the wagon with doing once a week. This is also on Shadow Kingdom Records, I think. Yeah, Shadow Kingdom Records as well. But yeah, I'm glad I got a copy of this because I've been meaning to put this. This is one that I've been meaning to put in my collection, and I like to collect music from the city I live in, so that's one where I'm happy to have gotten that. There's another band called Nuclear Tomb I want to get some of their records too, because they're a thrash band from Baltimore that are really good. Alright, last but not least, this one I'm amazed it took me this long to pick up. But I found it for sale price, a really good sale price. And I've been meaning to pick this up. And that's Megaton Swords, Blood Hail Steel, Steel Hail's Fire on Dying Victims Productions. This one's been a long time coming. One of my favorite new heavy metal bands, this band, Megaton Sword, they just play a really good version of like traditional, epic, almost power metal, heavy metal, and they have a great lore to all their music. Yeah, they have a great lore to all their music. They have great songwriting. All the lyrics are super epic and good. It's almost like listening to someone read an epic fantasy novel. It's so good. Came with a bunch of extras here. Came with postcard here, full color sticker of the guy on the cover, or the guy on the back of the album. There's a poster here. And these guys are Swiss? Belgian? I forget where they're from. They're European of some sort. I can't remember what. But it came with a sick poster. Look at these nerds. You gotta love it when a band just looks as nerdy as their music is. Holding a giant sword. Pretty sick. And like I said, one of my favorite bands. They basically made up this world and all the mythology around it that called Niralet. I think it's Niralet, and they have like a whole mythology around this mythical world that they made up, and it's pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm super stoked to have picked this up. Like I said, one of my favorite heavy metal albums to have come out in a lot of years. I still put this on a pretty regular basis on streaming, and I'm really happy to have it in my basement right now. But yeah, that's it. That's my haul from those Headbangers. I believe my last video was a haul video as well. It was a haul from Nameless Grave Records, which was a really good haul too. But I think this one was pretty good. Mostly CDs, which is okay with me. I just want the music. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's not too short. 20 minutes isn't too bad. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope to catch you guys sooner or later. I've got a couple things in the works. I'm going to do a couple pickups videos because I've got a bunch of Japanese hardcore that I need to show. I've got a bunch of just like other punk and hardcore stuff that I need to show. I picked up a bunch of CDs because there was online CD sale at 123 Go Records. I picked up some CDs from there too. So a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on in the collection, and I need to get you guys updated, get everybody up to speed, and then hopefully I may just do them as I listen to them and pop them up. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I need to start doing videos more. Any suggestions for videos, let me know in the comments if you get it this far. Anyway, cheers everybody. Hope you all have a good weekend, and I will talk to you some other time. Cheers.